Hello, my friends. So I was going to invite you to join me on an experiment, but I'm a little late to the game in inviting you, so I've already begun. But I will tell you a little bit about how it's going so far. So, in case you're wondering what the experiment is, it's called the Whole 30, which, if you were like me of the semi-recent past, you'd be saying to yourself, that sounds vaguely familiar, but what is it exactly? So it's basically eating whole foods exclusively for 30 days. Sounds easy enough, right? But that means cutting out alcohol, all added sugar, including honey and maple syrup, stevia, agave, all grains, including wheat, bulgur, rye, also rice, corn, oats, dairy, so cow, goat, sheep's milk, cheese, butter, all the dairy things. And also legumes. So no peanuts or peanut butter, peas, beans, etc. And then there's some fine print as well. So as my sister said to me when I was explaining this to her, what do you eat exactly? But again, you can eat all the fruits and vegetables and meat and eggs you want. So it's not a diet in which you're restricting calories in any way, but rather an experiment and restricting potential food allergens. So, why would you embark on such an adventure, you may be wondering? Well, if you have any of the following health problems, then a Whole 30 might be of interest to you. Are you ready for the short list? It's actually kind of a long list. So if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, asthma, allergies, sinus infections, hives, skin conditions like eczema or psoriasis, endometriosis, PCOS, infertility, migraines, depression, bipolar disorder, heartburn, GERD, arthritis, joint pain, ADHD, thyroid dysfunction, Lyme disease, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, lupus, leaky gut syndrome, Crohn's, IBS, celiac, diverticulitis, ulcerative colitis, or multiple sclerosis, then a Whole 30 might be helpful to you. And honestly, even if you just have run-of-the-mill bloating or indigestion on a semi-regular basis, or if you have headaches or just fatigue or brain fog, again, this might be something that could help you tackle all those issues. So if this is something you might be considering doing, then I think you want to start by picking out the dates in which you could pull off an experiment like this. So you're going to need 30 days to do the Whole 30, and then another 10 to 12 days of reintroducing the potential food allergens. So look at your calendar and see when you can potentially give up some of your favorite things. Like, obviously, during the holiday season would not be optimal. Maybe not during your birthday, or if you're going to a family member's wedding. Like for myself, I started the day after a family birthday party when we got to have biscuits and chowder and wine and some rich chocolate cake all before I couldn't have those for a little while. And then I'll be finishing a couple days before Valentine's Day. So hopefully I can have some chocolate. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that. But you might want to consider starting for Lent and finishing up before Easter, or whatever works for you. And once you have that established, that's kind of the scariest thing, is just picking a day and being like, I'm really gonna do this. But once you do that, then you probably want to look at some recipes or think about what food you can and might like to eat. So this book, for instance, is like the go-to master guide to the Whole 30, and it walks you through the whole thing, the challenges you might face and how to circumvent them, any questions you might have, but it also has recipes. And there are other Whole 30 cookbooks. I got several of them out of the library, and some of them were just not very helpful because they were just recipes that were too complicated, and I hardly have time to look at a recipe with 3 kids tearing around the kitchen, let alone follow one. I need just like very basic food ideas. But there's tons online. You can Google like Whole 30 snack, Whole 30 breakfast, Whole 30 dinner ideas, and all kinds of things will come up. And then just think about what things you really enjoy eating that you can still eat, and make a list of all the things you can think of. So I'm on day 7 so far. Woohoo! Um, the book says day 6 and 7 is I just want a nap, whereas day 4 and 5 were kill all the things. So you can ask my family if they felt like I was really in a crabby mood, because it is kind of hard in your body to adjust from eating lots of grains and sugars, to not, and getting your energy from meat and fat and just vegetable sources. So far, it's been actually better than I expected. I feel like I'm hungry a lot of the time. I'm also breastfeeding, so that takes a lot of calories. So it is kind of hard to get enough calories in, I think. If I'm not intentional about it, I think I just have to make sure I eat enough carbohydrates that are allowed, like sweet potatoes, squash, baked apples, that kind of thing, and get a little creative. But I think the hardest thing so far is not accidentally eating something, like when I'm making brownies for my kids because their friends are coming over, like not licking the spoon or tasting something as I'm stirring it in the pot and not really thinking about it. But I will pop back on later and say how things continue to go. So coming up in the next few weeks, I am hoping to have a video about why you might consider doing a Whole30 other than health concerns. Also a video about the challenges of doing a Whole30 while homesteading and having small children, and some ideas about how to address those challenges. And finally, some things you can add into your life when you're restricting yourself in the food department, including herbal things and books. So hopefully we'll see you soon.